New month, same place, different name. As tonight, we're back at the ballpark at America First Square for the Las Vegas Aviators against the Utah Dirty Sodas. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Daybreak. Tony Parks with you here tonight. Sammy Miller will be with us in just a moment. Well, game number one, that went to the Las Vegas Aviators. They jumped all over the Bees with 6 runs after they got 3 in the first, 3 in the second. The Bees responded well, took a 6-run deficit, got it down to 1, but the Aviators showed why they're the best team in the Pacific Coast League in the late innings and prevailed by a 10-6 final. And the Bees badly in need of a win here tonight. And one guy they've been pleased to see having great offensive performances is Omar Martinez, and he was stellar last night. A 3-hit game, had a couple of doubles throughout the course of his evening, and would reach base 4 times. Omar Martinez, an incredible story after making it to the big leagues for the first time this year after his first 7 seasons were all spent no higher than the single-A level. And his opposite field hitting ability has been on point. His overall offensive skill is something Alonzo Powell, the hitting coach of the Bees, has been very pleased with and said his numbers look one way, but his skill, talent, and ability is certainly a much better story. And so he's looking for a great second half, so is Salt Lake. The pitching matchup tonight, George Clausen coming off back-to-back quality starts. His first Q start this year happened when he took a no-hitter into the 7th against Las Vegas. He faces Luis Morales. The Bees scored 3 on him in 4 2/3 back in April. His last 2 starts have been short with a lot of crooked numbers. So he looks to bounce back tonight. So do the Bees. The first pitch at tonight's game is coming up next. It's Wednesday, and it's the Utah Dirty Sodas. Game 2 around the corner. Another beautiful night here in Daybreak. The Salt Lake Bees and the Las Vegas Aviators battling tonight as the Bees become the Utah Dirty Sodas. And George Clausen on the mound for the Bees this evening. His best start of the year was at Las Vegas. Took a no-hitter into the 7th. He allowed just a run in 6 2/3 while striking out 7. That was his first quality start of the season. His 2nd and 3rd took place during his previous 2 starts. He goes up against an offense For Las Vegas, they put up 10 runs last night. Cade Marlowe had 6 runs batted in, including his 7th homer of the year and his 7th homer all time against Salt Lake pitching. The defensive alignment for the Salt Lake Bees, it looks like this. Sanchez is in left. Grada in center. Teodosio is in right. Candelario in the hot corner with Vera at short. Christian Moore at second. Ryan Nicholson is at first. Omar Martinez behind the dish, and George Clausen is on the mound. Drew Swift digs in to the right-hand batter's box. Trevor Daniger is going to call the balls and strikes. Raul Moreno at first base. Jarrett Dewerson, the third base umpire. It's the Aviators. It's the Dirty Sodas. It's a Wednesday night. We're at the ballpark at America First Square, and there's no place I'd rather be. So a loose ball out in the outfield. They've dispatched that, and we are ready to go. Las Vegas leading the season series. Now 7-3. First pitch up and in, ball 1, 6:36 is our first pitch time. These two split a 6-gamer back in Las Vegas in April. The Bees won the first 3. Las Vegas would win the next 3. Swift takes outside, 2 balls and no strikes. Swift 1 for 6 against George Clausen, 2 runs batted in. He was 1 for 3 last night. The Aviators, who jumped on the Bees with some help in that first inning, is the 2-0s put high in the air. Shallow center, backpedaling, Christian Moore. And he will make the catch. Pop up to the second baseman. We check in for the first time with Sammy Miller.
Tony, I asked Bees starting pitcher George Clausen what he feels has fueled his consistency as of late, and he said it comes down to his mentality. At the end of the day, he shows up to this ballpark with the intention of getting 1% better. It's not, oh, let me make these huge dramatic changes, because that's the fact of baseball. Those changes are not going to happen overnight. So for him, his biggest points of emphasis has been to limit his pitch count early on so that he can go deeper into games, and he's feel like he's been able to do so by being more around the zone, limiting the walks, and not just relying on one pitch. Instead, really utilizing that arsenal because it is dangerous. And Tony, the growth that we have seen from George this season has been sensational, and now he has his eyes on making it 3 straight quality starts.
That would be great to see, and so deserving. After watching him respond from a tough stretch. He had 4 straight outings. He had a tough time getting out of the third in those 4 straight outings. A lot of crooked numbers, a lot of early exits, putting the bullpen in a tough spot. And you can tell it bothered him because he just knows he expects to perform at a better level than what he was. Here's the 1-2. Halter bounces it foul right side. We'll do it again at a ball and 2 strikes. He has great stuff. There's just no doubt about it. The fastball can touch 98. He has an unbelievable changeup, something that Shane Lukes, the pitching coach of the Bees, has raved about. He said his ability to make it look the same with his delivery, calls him deceptively deceptive. And that was on display in that outstanding performance at Las Vegas. Swing and a miss, strike 3, 2 up, 2 down, top 1, no score, and it brings up Cade Marlowe. But Clausen, to Sammy's point, he has talked so much about putting so much focus on the process and not so much the results, and being process-oriented really helped take some pressure off of him. You know, he was pressing a bit. He certainly wanted to be better than what he was, and he knew he was capable of it. He was frustrated with the way things were going. As Marlowe swings and misses 0-1. Cade Marlowe 3 for 5 last night, a 3-run homer, 6 runs batted in. He has 11 runs batted in against the Bees this year. 4th in hits in the PCL. As the 0-1 nibbles outside, 1-1. Well, for Clausen, that process-oriented mindset, it's helped move him towards what he's looking for. He's kept hitters off balance. He stayed within the plan of attack. Overall, good things just keep happening. It's foul to the left side, and it's 1-2. We'll try to make this tough offensive Las Vegas earn it, because last night Las Vegas had their first 5 hitters reach, only 1 with a hit. 2 of them on walks, 2 of them on hitters that were beamed. As the pitch is outside, 2-2. Las Vegas put up a 3 spot in the first and in the second. And while hitting batters hasn't been a problem for George, he has walked 4 in 4 of his last 6 outings. With that said, it's been a long time since he had a tough outing. As the 2-2 is hit hard through the hole, right side base hit. And Cade Marlowe just continues to swing a hot bat against the Bees here this year. A 3-hit night last night. He's now hitting over 400 against the Bees during the 2026 season. Coming into today, Marlowe 9th in batting average. Tops in the league in doubles and triples. 22 doubles and 8 triples this year. Here's Tommy White, 2 for 5 with a run batted in last night's game. Marlowe over there at first base. He is not just a good base stealer, he is perfect. A perfect 20 for 20. And the pitch is down for a ball, 1-0. While we talk about Marlowe's excellence against the Bees, before that 2-out knock, he was 0 for 5 against George Clausen. No wind at all here tonight. The pitch is up and in. Another warm day in Salt Lake. But not dreadfully hot, just one of those rock solid warm summer days. But the evenings have been perfect, including last night. As the pitch is inside, 3 balls and no strikes. Well, the Utah Dirty Sodas, we love it. You have the uniforms. Swiggy is out and about. $3 swig drinks throughout the course of the night. Wednesday nights is a great night to be here at the ballpark. White flies it high in the air, right center field, ranging to his right, Teodosio. He'll put that in his back pocket and the inning. Nelson Rada's going to lead it off for the Salt Lake Bees. 30 hits in the month of June for Nelson Rada, the number 2 prospect. And he hit .361 in the month of June as well. Had a fabulous month with 8 multi-hit games, 11 stolen bases. That tied him for the most. The guy he was tied with, Bryce Teodosio. He's also in the lineup tonight. And a special congratulations to Nelson Rada, recently called to the Futures game coming up in Philadelphia, the first Salt Lake Bee since 2016 to be called up to the Futures game. Luis Morales getting the start tonight for the Las Vegas Aviators. Rada takes a strike, 0-1. Rada 1 for 3 in RBI last night and walked. Luis Morales, who pitched against the Bees earlier this series, or season I should say, opposite field knocked Nelson Rada. gets things started. Nelson Rada has just flourished over the last few months, and it has been so fun watching him just with ease. Hook the line drive into left field, drop down a bunt with an infield single. And also his dynamic base running abilities, that's been on point. Although last night he was gunned down at second base, but has 25 stolen bases on the year. That is third best in the PCL. Here's Yolmer Sanchez. No score, bottom one. Sanchez, who against Luis Morales was 0 for 2 earlier this year. He was 0 for 2 last night, but walked a couple times. Sanchez, the left-hand batter, swings and misses. Switch hitter from the left side. When the Bees have been the Utah Dirty Sodas, they've had some dramatic wins, some exciting wins. One game they put up a dozen runs. Another one they had a walk-off. Overall, though, they've had a losing record. They've had some heartbreakers, and they've had some really rough outings to go with it. They lost one game 13-1. Lost another game in extra innings 14-13. The 1-2 is outside, 2 balls and 2 strikes. But no matter what the score has been, Wednesday nights here at the ballpark, the fans have been having a great time. If the Bees score 4 or more, everybody gets free swig. If somebody hits the big swig drink in right center field, everybody gets free swig. Rada back with a head first dive as Morales keeps an eye on him. Now Luis Morales, the Bees got 3 on him in 4 2/3 back in April. His last 2 starts, they have been short. He's had a mixture of time in the pen and also in the rotation. That goes off the glove of the catcher, Lavastida. Rada goes to second. There's an easy 90 feet to put Rada in scoring position. Yolmer Sanchez, a .338 hitter with runners in scoring position. And the Bees last night, well, they had some really good moments on offense, and then they had some really rough moments on offense. Here comes the 3-2. Outside, ball 4. The first 2 have reached here in the bottom of the first inning. Take a look at the defensive alignment for Las Vegas. Welvis in left, Marlowe in center. And Dickey is in right. Tommy White in the hot corner. Drew Swift at short. Yamauchi at second base. Halter at first. Brian Lavastida behind the dish. Luis Morales on the mound. Well, Christian Moore 0 for 5 last night, but he did have a stellar June overall. Has Moore, grounds it down the third base line. Nice diving stop by White. Pops up, throws to first. The catch and tag is in time. What a play by Halter. He had to go towards foul ground while reaching over. Made the catch and the tag simultaneously on Christian Moore. Now on this play, runners move up to second and third. Good work over there at first base by Halter. And what a nice stop by White. That was not an easy play. For a moment it looked like that was headed down the line for extra bases. So second and third, 1 down. Here's Candelario. Swings and misses 0-1. Candelario 1 for 5 last night. He has a hit in 5 of his last 6. While we've talked about certain hitters being red hot in the month of June, and time has been called and time has been granted, and the conversation continues as Trevor Daniger is over there signaling away, and we're ready to resume. The 0-1. Foul tipped into the glove, no balls and 2 strikes. While Christian Moore, who was stellar in the month of June, so was Nelson Rada. Well, Candelario since June 16th is at .317. Up and away, a ball and 2 strikes. Racked up some extra base hits. Really was able to come through during a key stretch where Salt Lake lost some really important bats to the meat of their order. Here comes the 1-2. Started after it, left it up. And it's 2 balls and 2 strikes. No score, bottom 1. 1 out, runners at second and third. Nelson Rada with the oven mitt there on that left hand. He's at third base. Swing and a miss. Strike 3, 2 down. in this bottom of the first. Last night, Salt Lake struck out 20 times. The 20 Ks for the pitching staff of Las Vegas. That was a franchise record. 1983 is when they started. It was a really big night for their staff. And they had some real timely strikeouts as the Bees, who were down all night, but were threatening all night. Goebel takes inside for a ball. Ben Goebel, who reached base last night twice, including a single. He has an 8-game hit streak, a 17-game on-base streak with the Bees. Swings and misses 1-1. He has a 22-game on-base streak, going back to his time at Double-A before getting called up to Salt Lake, where the Bees were threatening time and time again last night. You know, and after they scored 5 unanswered, you were wondering if we were going to have one of those wild back and forth games, one of those PCL classics. Goebel puts it high in the air, deep to left. Huelva's going back at the track, looks up, and it's gone! Ben Goebel with a 3-run shot here in the bottom of the first. Salt Lake with the first punch. It's 3-0. For Ben Goebel, that's his first home run in this ballpark, his second home run of the season, and this guy just continues to shine here in Salt Lake. That is now a 9-game hit streak, 18 straight games reaching in a Bees uni, including every game he's been in a Bees uniform. He just continues to show up and show out. First pitch outside, ball 1. And at some point, you knew Salt Lake was going to have to be great with a few 2-out knocks, and that was going to be the case last week, and they were. They were stellar with 2 outs. Pitches outside, 2 balls and no strikes. The only team that has been better hitting with 2 out has been Las Vegas this year. The 2-0 to Martinez, knee high outside corner. And the count's 2 balls and a strike. Two out, nobody on, 3-0. Dirty Sodas the opposite way. There goes Martinez, ranging to his left. Cuelvas will track it down, and the inning is done. But a 3 spot in the bottom of the first inning. Ben Goebel with his second home run in a Bees uniform. A great start for the Salt Lake Bees. After being down big last night in the early innings, they punch first in game 2. 3-0 Bees on KMYU. Two up for the Aviators. Lavastida 0 for 5 last night. Those had some big moments against the Bees this year, including 2 home runs, and he stole home in a game earlier this year at Las Vegas. Clausen was the starter. That was the game that Clausen had the no-hitter into the 7th. The only run he came up was when Lavastida would eventually be at third base, and on the throw back to Clausen, he broke for home. It was a bang-bang play at the plate, and Lavastida was safe. No balls and 2 strikes now as Lavastida 1 for 5 against George Clausen so far this year. Well, the Bees and the Aviators, a great matchup throughout the course of this week, and what is a really fun week here at the ballpark. As the pitch is outside, a ball and 2 strikes. The weekend portion, that's what most people have their eyes on. Of course, fireworks and 4th of July celebration all together. With so much happening all the way through Sunday, including tonight, going into tomorrow. Here's the 1-2. On the outside corner, looked good, won't be challenged. Clausen thought he got it. Started stepping away. The count is 2-2. Clausen rocks, it fires the 2-2. That one is called strike 3. So a backwards game to start off this top of the 2nd inning. 3-0. Utah Dirty Sodas, the alternate identity of the Salt Lake Bees. I love the idea when it was brought out all the way back in February. You want to think of something original, something fun, something that really attaches to the state of Utah. And what I've loved most about it is it has a great minor league feel to it, but in no way is it small time, as Dickey takes outside for a ball, 1-0. Jared Dickey was 1 for 3 with 2 runs batted in, but may have made the most important play last night with a chase down catch in right field. It was a sac fly that brought in a run, but he held Salt Lake to just 1 run in that inning with that catch. That pitch is ruled inside, tapping the helmet Martinez.
Previous pitch was
Plate
called
umpire
a ball.
Trevor Danaher, the announcement. Everyone looking at the video board, and it hit the zone.
Calls
Nicely
over
done, Omar Martinez.
Count is 0-1. Salt Lake retains their 2 challenges.
And last night, Logan Porter was perfect in this area. Nice start for Martinez. 1-1 the count, 1 out. Top 2, 3-0. The Dirty Sodas lead over the Aviators. Here comes the 1-1 to Jared Dickey. And Dickey flies that left side, fouling out of play. Do it at 1-2, but you know, the Utah Dirty Sodas, the gear, it's fun. The mascot, Swiggy, fun looking, and always a really good time with the variations of colors and then the variations of drinks. The Dirty Soda originated here in the great state of Utah. It was Southern Utah. Nicole Tanner, now Nicole Robinson, who had the idea. Here's the 1-2. Dickey fouls it straight back. That was in about 2010, I believe. She had a great passion for it, had a deep belief in the business, but also for the desire that the consumer would have to enjoy a dirty soda, not just a regular soda. Here comes the 1-2. And Dickey flares that out to left. Step in for Sanchez, now a few steps back. He'll make the catch, 2 out, nobody on. 3-0. Dirty Soda's on top. And here's former Salt Lake Bee, Chad Wallach. Always great when Chad Wallach is back around here. Even better when he was playing for the Salt Lake Bees. Love seeing him each and every day for a few different seasons. One of the most loved players in Salt Lake Bees history. The first pitch to Wallach. It's on the outside part of the plate, a strike. You know, for Wallach, has spent parts of the last 5 years in a Bees uniform. 8 different seasons in the Bigs, including his late season call-up with the Halos last year. 0-1. Swing and a miss, 0-2. It was here at this ballpark, right outside of the players' entrance. I see Chad Wallach standing there with his bags at his feet, looking into his phone, waiting, and I knew something was going on, so I walked up, shook his hand, and asked him how things were going. He said, good, I just got the call up. And you could just still see his excitement and enthusiasm as the 0-2's caught on a miss, strike 3, and the inning is over. But it doesn't matter how many times a guy's been called up, the next time they're called up is every bit as exciting. Well, George Clausen with 2 punch outs in the inning. 3 up, 3 down, second. Go to the bottom of 2, 3-0, Dirty Sodas. presented by Homes. 4 tickets for $40. You won't want to miss the next one. Join us on Tuesday night here at the ballpark at America First Square. But as always, bring your family, hang out on the berm, lay out the blankets, and enjoy a beautiful night here in Daybreak. 7-8-9 hitters due up in this bottom of the second. That begins with Bryce Teodosio. Morales pumps a strike at the knees, 0-1. Bryce Teodosio 1 for 3. The run batted in last night and walked. And he counts a ball and a strike. Well, when Teodosio was back in a Bees uniform, just right away he ends up with a triple and puts together 5 home runs in a blink. Takes for a called strike, taps his helmet. He thought that missed. So this will be challenged.
The previous pitch was called a strike. The batter is challenged.
Trevor Daniger looks up at the video board again, and that pitch was in the zone.
The call is confirmed. The pitch is a strike. Salt Lake has 1 challenge remaining.
So the Bees down to 1 challenge left. And Teodosio, who, when he joins the team, you feel a jolt of energy. Sammy Miller's reported on this before. As the pitch is caught on a miss, strike 3. His relentless ability to hustle and do the little things so incredibly well that make a big difference in a ball game. For Morales, strikeout number 2 for out number 1 here in the second. It brings up Ryan Nicholson. Ryan Nicholson, well, he has had some really big moments with clutch swings and some big defensive plays in the short time he's been with the Bees. So that's on the outside corner for a strike, 0-1. But Nicholson started 0 for 11 against starting pitchers. Now he's 2 for 15 against them. He puts this in the air. Right center field, trotting a bit to his left. Is Cade Marlowe. He'll set up camp and make the catch. 2 out, nobody on. And it brings up Vera. Well, last night, that was the longest game of the season. I didn't even realize how long it was. Over 3.5 hours. And the Bees lost a home series opener after winning 4 in a row. And while the Bees have been great with late inning production, they had some of it yesterday. They were much better in the early innings yesterday. Scored 5 runs in those first 3 frames. That was always a good sign. Vera takes on the outside part of the plate, a strike, 1-1. 2 out, nobody on, 3-0. The Utah Dirty Sodas on top. When you think late inning production, Vera has had that. So that's bounced foul to the right side. As for Vera, half of his hits, they've not only come in the late innings, they've come, well, exactly in the 9th. So he had a few of those last week. Has a hit in 3 of his last 4 games. Vera takes inside, that clipped him. A hit by pitch. So the inning continues. As Vera takes the free pass. Nelson Rada coming to the plate for more on the guy who's in the futures game. Here is Sammy Miller.
It was so amazing to have Yomer Sanchez translate what Nelson was telling me. And he said at first, he was like, man, this is awesome. But something about Nelson is that he remains pretty even keeled.
Yes.
He doesn't get too high or too low, but he definitely cracked a smile. But then he went on to add that this is a dream come true for him. He's 20 years old, and now he's playing against the top talent. And then I spoke with Caden Dana, who also played in that game, as well as George Clausen and also Kyron Paris. And Caden told me that, first of all, he could not be more excited for Nelson, but also to make sure that Nelson remains true to who he is. He was picked to be on that team for a reason, and also to soak it all in. This is something, a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to get all of the gear, the jerseys, everything. So make sure that he has so much fun in Philly.
Well, he will have a good time. And what I love about the advice to him there, Sammy, is I feel like that's great for him because that's who he is anyway. At no point has it felt like Nelson Rada has had, the stage get too big for him. At no point have I felt that Nelson is pressing or trying too hard or in his own head in any way. No, he's just like so steady, so calm. And it's been interesting watching it. Even when I compliment him, and I just think it's his natural body language, as the runner's on the move, pitch outside. Vera with a feet first slide, and the tag is there, and Arl Vera gunned down to close down business in the second inning. We head to the third. The Dirty Sodas lead over Las Vegas 3-0. He has given up just a hit through his first 2 innings. Sammy Miller with a great report on Clausen before the game. Just watching how poised he looks out there and just in control. It's been a great sign for him. A young kid with some explosive talent. And when he's put that on display, it's been oh so impressive. His most impressive performance was in Sin City. We've talked about that, but as Buelvis leads off the third, the pitch is outside. Well, what's great too is just seeing him in control the way that he is, and then talking with him during that road trip at Albuquerque. Just see it all coming together for him in a really big way. Buelvis takes the strike 1-1. Sean Anderson had a lot of positive things to say about Clausen, but overall the concept of focusing on the process. When you put too much pressure on yourself for the results, you lose focus on whether or not you're objectively looking at your results. The pitch is fouled back, and it's 1-2. And Sean had a lot to say about, knowing whether or not you got away with a bad pitch or being okay with being beat by a good pitch. Like, did you execute the game plan? Did you make the right pitch? Did you do what you were supposed to do, and did it not just simply work out? Because sometimes it won't. Strike 3, 1 down. Buelvis retired. Well, today is the anniversary of one of the most memorable performances in Major League history. It was done by pitching coach Andy Hawkins. Andy had a no-hit game going on this date in 1990, but this was a bit different. A myriad of errors in the 8th inning, including a big one with 2 outs, put them at a 3-0 hole, and when it looked like they were out of it again, they were wrong once again, and Andy took the loss. Not only that, didn't get credit for the complete game, didn't get credit for the no-hitter because he didn't pitch 9 innings. And the White Sox would win 4-0. And what may have been his best pitching performance is remembered for a bad result. Here's the 0-1. The pitch is fouled back out of play. That is the ultimate controlling what you can control, because everything Andy needed to do that day, he was on point. And things just simply didn't work out. But that is as strange of a no-hitter, and I know it's not officially a no-hitter, but I'm going to call it that. Here's Yamauchi, swings and misses, strike 3. Back-to-back-to-back strikeouts now for George Clausen. He's found a nice groove. 4 of the last 5, he's retired by a strikeout. Here comes Drew Swift. He popped up to second back in the first inning. 3-0, Utah Dirty Sodas, with a great start to this ball game. Swift takes a strike, 0-1. Drew Swift has played well against Salt Lake this year, hitting .373 against him. 2 doubles, a triple, and a home run. Standing on that back chalk line. Here's the 0-1. Swift. It's a heavy cut around the top of the zone. Foul tips it in the glove. You just see Clausen get the ball back, step right in, go through his routine. I mean, he looks like an entirely different player than what we watched about 6 weeks ago. The 0-2. Just misses away. And it's 1-2. Just goes through his breathing routine. 2 deep breaths, kicks, fires, up and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes. 41 pitches so far for George Clausen. The Salt Lake Bees 3-4 in this second half. Las Vegas 6-1. They've already clinched that first half championship in a postseason berth. It's 2-2, foul tip in the glove. Nice squeeze, Martinez. And how about George Clausen striking out the side? And Clausen has retired 7 in a row. And now 5 of the last. Beautiful night here at the ballpark at America First Square. The Dirty Sodas. Make sure to join us every Wednesday here at home. And check out the gear that they have at the Bees Team store with the Utah Dirty Sodas. Hats, jerseys, t-shirts, all of that more. $3 swig drinks. It's a great family-friendly atmosphere. Take a look at that. See a drink order on top of that with the name. I have mine coming up later on today. I've been told about this, and I'm looking forward to it. Nelson Rada, who was at the plate when Olvera was caught stealing to close down the second inning. He's on to lead off the bottom of the third. I'm going to have the fighter, and the fighter is peach, vanilla, pineapple, lime, and raspberry puree. As Nelson Rada is now 2 for 2. And while we look forward to seeing him in the Futures game, as for the present time, he has been magnificent. So Nelson Rada, a couple line drives into left field. He reached and scored back in the first. Utah Dirty Sodas lead 3-0. Yolmer Sanchez walked back in the first inning and would eventually come around to score. Sanchez flies it to right field on a rope. Going back is Dickey, still going back, and he'll track it down. Rada will trot back to first. 1 out, 1 on, 3-0 Utah. Here comes Christian Moore. Christian Moore grounded out to third, back in the first inning. Oh, it was amazing. Christian Moore, 6 multi-hit performances in his last 8 games. He was so good in June. And you look at his numbers overall, and you have to remind yourself, he didn't play in all those games. Far from it. He had the call up to the Angels. And if he doesn't get called up to the Angels, my opinion, he was on pace to be the PCL player of the month in June. As Moore puts it in the air to left, not far to go for Buelvas. He'll make the routine catch. Rada returns to first again. A couple of fly outs. Rada still at first after the leadoff single, and it brings up Jamer Candelario. 3 for the Dirty Sodas, nothing for the Aviators here tonight. Candelario struck out back in the first, but to that point about Christian Moore finishing up about that, I mean, we watched what Denzer Guzman did in May. Christian Moore was starting to do that in June. Rada on the move, throw to second, bounces off the glove of Swift. Backed up by Yamauchi. There's stolen base number 26 on the year for Nelson Rada. Well, he makes it look so easy too. Electric speed, great footwork, great focus. But what I loved about his base stealing threat last year, it didn't matter the situation. He was all gas and no brakes at times. You wouldn't call it reckless. It was just pure confidence. Candelario takes it the knees for a strike. The count's 0-2. When you have guys that have that ability in Nelson Rada, they always feel like they're going to be successful when they take off. Candelario watches that outside. Well, we've watched it with Nelson Rada. He'll still third base with 2 outs. If he feels like he can get that right jump, and he doesn't convince himself of it, he makes absolutely certain that he has the right jump and that he's going to be safe as the 1-2 is up. 2 balls and 2 strikes. With the high number of stolen bases, it wasn't just the number of stolen bases, but his threat to constantly take off. You watched how it changed a game. And I've mentioned how the Bees were the best team in the PCL the 40 games after he joined Salt Lake last August. It was all the things you wouldn't see in a box score that showed some of his impact. As the 2-2 is low. After being down 0-2 in the count, it's now full to Candelario. Candelario, 295 hitter with runners in scoring position. Volume coming up a bit in support of Candelario in this bottom of the third. 3-0. Dirty Soda's on top. The pitch. Fouled straight back. We'll do it again at 3 balls and 2 strikes. Candelario, switch hitter, going from the left-hand side. Rada with that lead at second. Candelario, nice battle. Ball 4 low. He earns a walk after being down 0-2 in the count. Great takes, fouled some pitches off. Now he gets the free pass. With all the success Candelario had last week, one thing you wouldn't notice unless you watch the games was his clutch walk that he earned with the bases loaded to take the lead on Saturday night. And just fouling pitches off, down 0-2 in the count, grinding away, great takes. It was a big reason why the Bees won that game. Here's Ben Goebel. Fouls it straight back. Goebel, a 3-run homer in the first inning. Sometimes he has made things look easy. You know, just line drive to left field or a hard hit ground ball somewhere. Also some of his work defensively. It's not that he's not hustling or focused. He's just smooth out there. Here comes the 0-1. Goebel fouls it high behind home plate. Goes off the netting. He's down 0-2 in the count. Dirty Soda's up 3-0 in the game. Goebel batting in the 5 spot tonight. First and second, 2 down. Goebel takes. It's outside, a ball and 2 strikes. Boy, Morales wanted that one. He does not look happy walking towards the back slope of the mound. He'll step back in. Runners walking to their lead. Goebel fouls that behind home plate. Morales already at 54 pitches. Nelson Rada is keeping an eye on Yamauchi, who is shading the bag there at second. The runner at first, Candelario, almost has a wide receiver stance over there. Comes the 1-2 again. Goebel watches that outside. It's impressive to watch Goebel continue to emerge. A strange stat with him. Hitting .394 when the bases are empty. Before that 3-run homer, just 4 for 25 with runners in scoring position. Goebel flares it to center field, not deep. Marlowe waiting on it. He'll make the catch. The threat is over, so's the inning. But the Dirty Sodas lead 3-0 as we go to the 4th on KM. Welcome back to the ballpark at America First Square. The Utah Dirty Sodas up 3-0 tonight in the top of the 4th inning. Some special guests here tonight at the ballpark. And anytime you have a big moment, big special guest, and if something fun's happening in the suite, you can find our good friend Sammy Miller.
Yes, Tony, the Utah Mammoth Development Camp is here at the Salt Lake Bees game. It is such an exciting time, and I'm here with Ethan and Tej. And Ethan, you were just selected as the 17th overall pick in the NHL draft. Take me through your emotions as you heard your name being called and you walked onto that stage.
Yeah, it's so special and, a memory I'll remember for the rest of my life. And it's so cool to go through that with, family and friends. And I'll never forget that moment.
So amazing. I heard that you played some baseball growing up. You also threw the first pitch tonight. So what were your thoughts on your performance?
I was a better player than I was throwing the first pitch today, but it was a little bit farther than I thought. But yeah, it was cool to, experience that.
And this truly is the future of the Utah Mammoth. You guys were out there on the mound. How special is this group?
It's awesome. Coming in here, you don't really know too many people, and then I feel like I'm close buddies with a lot of these guys. So, it's fun to meet everybody here, and, excited to, have a future with these guys.
And Tej, how excited were you to be teamed up with this guy, Ethan?
Yeah, I was pumped. It's so fun to get to come here and kind of welcome the new guys in and meet them. And obviously there's so much talent, but just great dudes too. So it's a lot of fun.
And we have the entire camp here tonight, so many faces. So how cool is it to be able to know these guys and spend some time off the ice as well?
Yeah, it's great. The ice is fun and getting to compete against each other and, see how everybody is and all that stuff is a lot of fun. But, it's moments like these, getting to hang around at the ballpark, throw a first pitch with them. It's those are, special memories.
Speaking of the ballpark, how incredible is this place?
Yeah, it's unreal. The mountains, it's definitely one of the crazier views I've seen out of any sports facility for sure.
I love it. Well, thank you guys so much for being here, and go Mammoth.
I thank you, Sammy. 3-0 Utah Dirty Sodas lead over Las Vegas. In this top of the 4th, a strikeout started the inning against Colby Halter. That's now 5 hitters in a row punched out by George Clausen. Counts 1-1 on Cade Marlowe. This is the only guy to reach against George Clausen so far today. It was a 2-out single in the first. Cade Marlowe takes low, 2 balls and a strike. Oh, wonderful to see the Utah Mammoth in year number 2 to go to the postseason. A great atmosphere there at the Delta Center. And when you watch what's happened with the Utah Mammoth and the excitement of this market with a new major pro sports team, there's the 2-1 to Marlowe. Line to left field. That ball's going to get down for a hit. And the rule is you can pitch as well as you want, but Cade Marlowe must still have a great night. Doesn't matter who's pitching. Cade Marlowe is just brutal to deal with. 2 singles tonight after his 3-hit night, 6 runs batted in game 1. And so Cade Marlowe's 2 for 2. And then everybody else not named Cade Marlowe is 0 for with 7 Ks. Marlowe, a dangerous threat to take off. 1 on, 1 out, 3-0 Utah Dirty Sodas. It's grounded softly foul left side. Tommy White flied out to right field back in the first inning. And the rest of the Aviators, a combined 0 for 10 with 7 Ks. And then Cade Marlowe 2 for 2. White scooting back to make sure that didn't hit him. Ball popped in and out of the glove of Martinez. We'll do it at 1-1. Almost got a knuckle grazer there. Marlowe quickly out to his lead over there at first. Wide stance, Tommy White in the box. White will foul that off down the right field line. A ball and 2 strikes. But back to my point about the Mammoth. You watched how much this market supported that team, got behind them, showed up to the games, the energy, the passion, the following. So many new things happening. It really goes to show just how much this state loves sports altogether. There's the 1-2. Throw over there, back with the head first slide is Marlowe. To be completely frank with you, it's not really a hockey market, especially before the Mammoth arrived. And that surprised a lot of people when I would talk to them about Salt Lake City, those not from here, because you have the mountains, place with a winter. So let's fly down the right side out of play. It's a winter Olympic city. So much about Salt Lake, if you hadn't been here, you'd believe, there's a good hockey following here. Well, to be honest, there wasn't. But when I was asked, do you feel like this is a market that would support the team? The answer is absolutely. 1-2. It's grounded right to the shortstop, Vera. Underhands to second for 1, more to first. They roll him up. 6-4-3 double play. And the inning is over. But fans love their team. They get behind their team. They've been behind the Mammoth. They're behind the Dirty Sodas. It's 3-0. Dirty Sodas on top. As we go to the bottom of the 4th. KMYU. Welcome back to the ballpark here in Daybreak. 3-0. Top of Las Vegas. Luis Morales out there for his 4th inning of work. Omar Martinez, Bryce Teodosio, Ryan Nicholson. 6, 7, 8 hitters due up against Morales. For Martinez's 7-game on-base streak after his explosive performance last night, 3-hit game. That was his 2nd multi-double game this year. He did that just twice in his 7 years combined before this season. Pitches outside the ball to Martinez. Martinez 6 for 34 with leading off an inning. However, one of those 6, a home run. Swing and a miss, a ball and a strike. These are the 3 spot in the bottom of the 1st on a home run from Ben Goebel. Martinez hits a fly ball, left center field. Stop sign up from Marlowe, holding off Huelvas. Marlowe with the call and the catch for out number 1. We have our first look at the out-of-town scoreboard here tonight. A busy day in the Bigs. What an explosive performance by the Chicago Cubs this afternoon at Wrigley Field as they won 23-3. 8 home runs. What was a wild performance against the San Diego Padres. 3 home runs for Dansby Swanson, including a grand slam. Michael Conforto homered twice. As Teodosio fouls it back, no balls and 2 strikes. Teodosio struck out back in the 2nd. 1 out bottom of the 4th. Career high 8 runs batted in for Swanson. Chicago scored the most runs they've had in a home game since 1977. Teodosio dribbles it foul behind home plate. Do it again, no balls and 2 strikes. Canada Day matinee in Toronto. Blue Jays victorious against the Mets 9-3. Sean Keys, his first career home run. Miles Straw added a pinch hit solo shot. Caught on a miss, strike 3. 2 up, 2 down in this bottom of the 4th. Toronto now 24-9 when they score 5 or more runs, although it has been surprising that the Blue Jays 5 games below 500 at this point at 41-46. Nationals all over the Red Sox today at Fenway. James Woods belted a 3-run homer, his 22nd of the year. Andres Chaparro, we had a chance to watch him against the Bees in the recent years. Nasim Nunez, each hit their first home run of the year. Nationals hammered the Red Sox 10-2. Boston 5-2 during that homestand. It's the 1-1, knee high, outside corner, a strike to Nicholson. Counts a ball and 2 strikes now. 9 hits in his last 11 games for Ryan Nicholson. Left-hand batter with that open stance. 3-0. The Dirty Sodas lead over Las Vegas, and Nicholson fouls it behind home plate to the left. Playing Boston, well, they went 5-2. I have an ill feeling after the way they played against Washington. That was coming off the heels of sweeping the Yankees. And the pitch was low. Morales, 1 strike away from holding off the Bees in this 4th inning. Salt Lake played at 3 in the 1st. They had a runner reach in the 2nd, but Morales faced the minimum 3 with a caught stealing. Caught on a miss, strike 3. Just a natural 3 up, 3 down in this 4th. So Morales has found his footing. No better place to be this weekend than right here at the ballpark at America First Square. Now, we know all about July 4th, but July 3rd, a very underrated night. Be with us July 3rd to catch some pre-holiday fireworks. Get your tickets, slbs.com, and make it a memorable 4th of July weekend. And don't forget about Sunday night as well. It'll be a great night to be here at the Yard. I love all nights at the ballpark, but boy, this week is always a special one. Here's the first pitch to Brian Lavastida. Top of the zone, a called strike, 0-1. George Clausen, a very efficient 55 pitches so far, 4 clean innings. He's allowed just 2 total hits. He's faced the minimum 3 in each of the last 3 innings. 0-1. It's high. Ball and a strike. As for Clausen, boy, he caught fire with 5 straight strikeouts at one point. Looked untouchable there for a second. Here comes the 1-1. Lavastida swings and misses, 1-2. No runs, 2 hits, no errors for Las Vegas. 3 runs, 3 hits, no errors for the Utah Dirty Sodas. Seven strikeouts tonight for George Clausen. Pitches down and away, 2 balls and 2 strikes. That's how many he had in the 6 2/3 at Las Vegas. It was all the way back in April. It was a strange 6-game series. The 2-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. That's punch out number 8 on the night. 1 out, nobody on. Clausen has just been dealing here tonight. That brings up Jared Dickey. As he steps up to the plate, we go down to Sammy Miller.
Mr. Tony Parks, it's Wednesday night, so you
Yes.
know I have to have my swig. It's Utah Dirty Sodas night, so duh. We are going to try this one out. It is a hula girl. I'm from Manhattan Beach. I love to hula, so I thought it was a no-brainer.
All right, we'll give it a shot. 4-3, the ground out. There's Jared Dickey. Hits it towards Christian Moore. He's retired. 2 out, nobody on. Okay, Sammy, the hula girl.
Tony, this is incredible. So it has all my favorite things: Sprite, lemonade, pineapple, mango, and strawberry. So I had a little itch that I was gonna like it. Well, my itch was correct because this is my favorite. A little Sammy shimmy. We're going 9-2 on this one. This one
9-2?
takes the cake. Tony Parks, I mean it when I say it. This is a really good swig.
I think that's the highest rating you've had so far. That's the #1 seed.
You're correct.
Up to this point. Yeah. I have the fighter. It includes water, peach, vanilla, pineapple, lime, and raspberry puree.
Ooh.
Now, I don't know, and I'm going to try next half inning. I don't know how it got the name the fighter, but I'm all right with it. I don't know if this was like Mark Wahlberg's idea, or I have no idea. I have no clue how it came along to that name, but I am excited for that coming up in the next half inning. Chad Wallach fouls it off of his leg. You know, you were interviewing hockey players last half inning, Sammy. I feel like the Bees have a lot of guys that if they were to sit up there, you would think they were hockey players.
100%.
Ryan Nicholson.
Yeah.
Logan Porter. Caden Dana, Sean Anderson.
The flow, too, would help.
Yes, absolutely. I feel like, Teodosio. I would 100% believe that he was a hockey player.
Now, I was giving some of the Mammoth players a hard time, and I said, okay, before the interview, I was looking, there is close to 50 players up there, Tony. And they're all in black polos. I was like, where am I right now? And I was asking them, I was like, okay, has anyone played baseball? They looked at me like I was crazy.
That's flared into center field and going out to get it on
Sport Clips.
Bottom of the 5th inning, 3-0. Dirty Sodas on top. As the Dirty Sodas scored 3 in the bottom of the 1st. Nobody has scored since. Another gorgeous night here. We have a beautiful view up here in our broadcast booth. Thanks so much for watching us on KMYU. We'll be back on KMYU coming your way tomorrow night as well. But we hope to see you here at the ballpark. And here tonight we have the Fighter. That is the name of our swig drink here this evening. Now I've taken a drink of this, and I gotta say, now that's impressive. I won't go 9.2. Sammy had a 9.2 on the Hula Girl earlier, but I just had the Fighter. Water, peach, vanilla, pineapple, lime, and raspberry puree. It punches. It's got a great taste to it. I'll go with an 8.6. Rock solid 8.6. And as always, Dirty Sodas. You can try out the different flavors all the time. And when the Utah Dirty Sodas win a game, it's Arl Vera at the plate, the 1-1. He hits it hard off the facing of the first base dugout. Counts 1-2. But when the Utah Dirty Sodas win, we name a Dirty Soda after the win. So the first one is called Walk Off on the Rocks. The second one was called the Dirty Dozen, as the Bees, that being the Utah Dirty Sodas, scored a dozen runs in that game. Here's the 1-2. Arl Vera takes outside, 2 balls and 2 strikes. So as this game is going, we're in constant conversation about, thinking about the new Dirty Soda name with the theme of the game. Vera softly bounces back behind second base. Swift, long throw, nice play on his back pedal. Had to range to his left to get it. And didn't have a lot of time to collect and release, as he had to range back on it. Got rid of it in a hurry. Nice throw on the bounce. Halter with the nice pick. 1 out. So right now, there's a couple different potential names, with the shutout being intact, although we have a long way to go. But also the number of strikeouts from Clausen. It's going to be it for Luis Morales. We'll tell you about the new Aviators pitcher when we come back. It's 3-0. Dirty Sodas lead over the Aviators on KMYU.
Number 3, 4 months later. Number 45, James Gonzalez.
James Gonzalez on for the Aviators. Before we tell you more about James Gonzalez, congrats again to Nelson Rada, the first member of the Salt Lake Bees to play in the Futures game since 2016, as he'll be in Philadelphia representing the Angels organization. We are very proud of Nelson Rada for all of his success, everything he does with the bat and then with the gloves. Stellar plays in the outfield time and time again. So much fun to watch. He's had some clutch swings throughout the course of the year. And when he joined this team, you could feel a difference in this team. He's the first batter that James Gonzalez is going to face. And the first pitch, top of the zone, a strike, 0-1. Final line for Luis Morales, 4 1/3, 3 hits, 3 runs all earned, 2 walks, 4 Ks after a tough start. Really settled in nicely. The pitch is high, 1-1. After he gave up that home run to Ben Goebel, Luis Morales allowed just one hit the rest of his night. 3 2/3, and allowed one hit to close it. But his first 2/3 of an inning were tough. Gave up a single, a walk, and a 3-run homer. Dirty Soda's up 3-0, bottom of the 5th. Well, Nelson Rada tonight, 2 for 2. Has a stolen base and a run scored. Takes a strike, and the count's now at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Well, but Nelson Rada, his baseball IQ is stellar. I love that report from Sammy earlier when they talked about staying with who you are. Well, for a kid that's 20 years old, I saw it last year when he was 19, he's very comfortable in his own skin. Takes low, 3 balls and 2 strikes. In no way did I believe he was just 19. And I have a hard time remembering that he's only 20. The way he carries himself, the way he plays, that part is obvious. His overall baseball IQ. Rada softly grounds it to the second baseman Yamauchi, who ranges over, makes the play. 4-3, the put out, 2 out, nobody on. It's 3-0. Dirty Soda's on top. This is game 2 out of 6 between these two teams. Here's Yomer Sanchez. Braves defeat the Cardinals today 5-1. Albies, who ended up with an RBI double, also had a home run during the game. And the Braves 50-34 on the season. Sanchez batting from the right-hand side now. Swings and misses at a pitch in the dirt. And it's 0-1. Extra innings today in the Bronx. And the Yankees' losing streak is now to 7 games, their longest in 3 years. They lost 6-2 to the Tigers in 11 innings. Sharp grounder right to third. White with a shoot top stop and a throw to first. It's in time. And the inning is over. James Gonzalez retires both batters that he faces in relief so far. Dirty Soda's lead 3-0. We head to the 6th on KMYU. Square, that's coming up this weekend, but the next time we have a weekend series, it'll be Country Weekend, July 17th through the 19th. Dust off the boots, bring out your hats, and get ready to listen to some George Strait. We're going to have Country Weekend. I hope we'll listen to George Strait. That's my favorite, and I'm making the request that, you know, every third inning or so, we will hear from the legend. At some point during that weekend, Brian Buelvis takes for ball 1. So far tonight, George Clausen has been outstanding. Clausen has allowed just 2 hits so far in the night. He has not walked a batter. Topper, third base side foul, and it's 1-1. He's at 67 pitches here in this top of the 6th inning. He's coming off of back-to-back quality starts. And one thing we talked about was the issue with him walking a few too many hitters, even though he kept opponents off the board. That was one of those things to continue to polish and get better at. In his last 6 outings, he had walked 4 hitters 4 times. Here comes the 1-1. Welvis fouls it behind home plate, 1-2. Well, Clausen has just been ahead all night, pounding the strike zone, racking up the strikeouts. It's not like he's doing this against a bad team. This is the best team in the Pacific Coast League. They're the first half champion. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. Welvis foul tips it in the glove, strike 3, and that is now strikeout number 9 on the night for George Clausen. Just picking him up and putting him down time after time. I mean, from moment number 1, he has been in complete control. And I know his no-hit performance through 6 innings of work against Las Vegas back in April. That's a nice grab by Candelario at third. Toss across. They got him. 2 up, 2 down. Clausen getting a little help from his friends. Ball was down by the line, right at the base. Candelario did a great job to pick it up. Here's Drew Swift. For more on Drew, here's Sammy Miller.
Tony, growing up, any chance Drew Swift had, he was grabbing his glove, and his dad, Pat, who was a shortstop at Georgia, and they would spend hours on defensive work in their backyard. Pat would pepper Drew with a series of sharp grounders, short hops, side to sides, developing the intense skill work that laid the foundation for his elite defense today. And this training started at 5 years old, as he was always playing above his age group with guys who were much bigger and stronger than him. So he had to work that much harder to find success, and would bunt for hits, steal bases, and use those short hop reps and quick hands to stand out. And boy, has that work paid off, Tony.
Oh, he has stood out in a big way. He's been a big part of this team's success. And last night, 1 for 3, 0 for 2 tonight. You know he's capable of doing something big anytime he's in the lineup. 3-0. Dirty Sodas lead over Las Vegas, top of the 6th inning. The 1-2. It's low, 2 balls and a strike. While Clausen looked so dominant that last time he faced Las Vegas in April, he's been every bit as dominant so far tonight. That just missed the top of the zone. 3-1. 2 out, nobody on. He faced the minimum 3 in the 2nd. Also in the 3rd. Also in the 4th. Faced the minimum 3 in the 5th. Now he's walked his first batter in the 6th inning. It's the first walk issued by George Clausen. 2 out, runner at first. Here comes Colby Halter. Colby Halter 0 for 2 with a pair of Ks. In at third is Candelario. Middle infielder's back. The wind starting to blow in from right. Halter swings and misses, 0-1. Colby Halter reached base 3 times last night. Las Vegas put up 10 runs last night. They have not had a runner in scoring position tonight. Pitch fouled back, 0-2. It's been a quiet night with the stick so far for Las Vegas, just 2 hits. Swift over there at first is their 3rd base runner. He has 11 stolen bases on the year. Here comes the 0-2. Pop fly, left field, drifting right. It's Sanchez, and he's there to make the catch. Good times, good vibes here at the ballpark at America First Square. Join us tomorrow night as we have Thirsty Thursday. Feels like that tonight because drinks are taking center stage, but tomorrow night, $6 beer, $3 soda. Make sure to join us every Thursday night here at the ballpark at America First Square for a great drink deal. You get $3 swig this evening on Dirty Sodas nights on Wednesday. But tomorrow night, a great deal as well. Second inning work here for James Gonzalez. Retired both hitters that he faced in the fifth. 3-0. Dirty Soda's on top as Moore foul tips it into the glove. 0-1. Christian Moore 0 for 2 so far tonight. 0 for 7 in this series. And Moore, bouncer, hard hit towards the middle, going to the other side of the street. Yamauchi, long throw, can't get it. Tough play for Yamauchi. That'll be a single for Christian Moore. His first hit of the night. Well, it was amazing work by Yamauchi just to get to that ball. Second baseman going clear towards the shortstop spot. And with the speed of Christian Moore, it was going to be nearly impossible to get him. What a great effort by Yamauchi. Here's Candelario, struck out in the first and walked in the third inning. Christian Moore, 10 stolen bases so far this year. That's in the dirt to the backstop. Goes through Lavastida. Christian Moore goes to second base. Well, the Orioles stiff-armed the White Sox 6-1 today. Guardians a winner at home against the Rangers 9-4. The Rays blanked the Royals 4-0. Games in action right now. No score between San Francisco and Arizona. They're in the bottom of the second. Here comes the 1-0. Candelario takes low, 2 balls and no strikes. Dodgers and A's scoreless in the bottom of the first. Marlins a 2-1 advantage at Colorado, bottom of the fifth. Top 5, Twins 7, Astros 1. And it's the Reds and Brewers tied at 2 in the bottom of the sixth. The 2-0. Candelario swings and misses. 2-1. Switch hitter now going from the right-hand side. Just getting underway. Reno is at Tacoma right now. Albuquerque 5, Round Rock 4. They're in the top of the 8th. Inside, 3 balls and a strike. 4-3, Sugar Land ahead of Oklahoma City in the bottom of the 6th. Far West Texas, the El Paso Chihuahuas holding to a 3-2 lead over Sacramento. Top 5. Pitch up and away. That's ball 4. Candelario, second time of the night he has walked. Once against Morales and now once against Gonzalez. So first and second, nobody out. The Dirty Sodas lead 3-0 over the Las Vegas Aviators. Meeting at the mound right now. Well, Ben Goebel earlier tonight. Wonder how this game got to be 3-0. Well, Ben Goebel with his first home run here at the ballpark at America First Square. Second home run as a member of the Bees this year. Posited it over the left field wall. 3-run shot. Nobody has scored since. Well, Ben Goebel has been such a great addition from day one. He just jumped in, went to work, and continues to flourish. And here is Ben Goebel now. Ben Goebel with 7 extra base hits in his last 9 games. That includes tonight's game. Still nobody out. Goebel takes a strike, 0-1. Well, Ben Goebel with runners in scoring position, 5 for 27. But he had a big one earlier today. Goebel, worm burner, right to third. White has it, throws to second for 1. Yamauchi to first. They roll him up, a 5-4-3 double play. Going to third was Christian Moore. 2 out runner at third, still 3-0. Dirty Soda's on top. That's big if you're Las Vegas. One thing you're trying to do while you find your offense is keep this game close. And the Dirty Sodas have had a couple of innings they've threatened and have not been able to add on. Martinez Lefty on lefty, fouls it back behind home plate. It was coming right at us. I was ready. Now Russ Langer, the legendary voice of the Las Vegas Aviators, he was ready as well. He has the window open, and I mean, I'll be honest, I flinched just a little bit just because I was ready but still didn't see it coming. Russ Langer didn't flinch at all, and I'm not surprised. 0-1. 55-footer in the dirt, blocked by the catcher, Lavastine. I would not have been surprised at all to see Russ Langer just reach up with a bare hand and grab it mid-sentence and just continue on with his business as if nothing ever happened. Moore's at third, 2 down. Martinez down the first base line, foul, hit it hard and right through the runner's lane. Do it again. Now it's a ball and 2 strikes. Christian Moore led off the inning with an infield single. Dirty Sodas had first and second with nobody out, but that double play. It's Martinez in that spot. He wants a little 2-out knock. See if he can add on to this lead. Dirty Sodas 1 for 5 with runners in scoring position so far tonight. Check swing down. 2 balls and 2 strikes. And the Dirty Sodas with just 4 hits so far on the night. They have all the runs, up 3-0. The story of the night has been George Clausen and his magnificent work as the starting pitcher for Salt Lake. Here comes the 2-2. Martinez dribbles it foul behind home plate. We'll do it again. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Bryce Teodosio on deck. Christian Moore, who's been a hero in a Dirty Sodas uniform before, the first ever win in the Dirty Sodas uniforms. He was the walk-off hero. Nelson Rada had an inside the park home run that night. Here's the 2-2. Martinez grounds it over to the first baseman Halter. George Clausen still out there as we go to the 7th inning. He has been magnificent. He has kept Las Vegas off the board. Dirty Sodas lead 3-0. For George Clausen, a career-high 9 strikeouts here tonight. That's the most by any Bees pitcher in the 2026 season. Faced the minimum 3 in the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and the 5th. He has not allowed a hit since the 4th. At the knees, a strike, 0-1. Cade Marlowe is the only batter to get a hit against George Clausen today. A single in the 1st, a single in the 4th. Everybody else for the Aviators, a combined 0 for 17 with a walk. Cade Marlowe, who homered last night. 5 hits already in the series. Takes down and in, 2 balls and a strike. Well, for Cade Marlowe, a guy who had a big moment in his career early, hit a dramatic 9th inning grand slam against the Angels back in 2023. He's a member of the Mariners. It's grounded down the first base side foul. We'll do it at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Cade Marlowe missed the first 3 months of last year with back surgery. Had 46 games with Tacoma. We talked about it last night. He really made them count. He played well against Salt Lake last year. He's played well against Salt Lake this year. Here comes the 2-2. Just missed in. 3 balls and 2 strikes. That home run last night for Cade Marlowe was his 7th home run of the year. That was his 7th home run against Salt Lake in his career. Here comes the 3-2 pitch. Hard hit ground ball, but to the second baseman Moore. He'll gobble it up and throw to first. 1 out. Here in the top of the 7th, pitch count at 84 for George Clausen. Clausen went 6 2/3 in his last outing against Las Vegas. But he took a no-hitter into the 7th. And while this was not a no-hit bid going into the 7th, this has been domination. He's been battling while being ahead in the count. He had a series of 5 straight strikeouts, spanning from the 2nd and into the 4th. Swing and a miss, 0-1. Tommy White. He's done all of this with a 3-0 lead. The 0-1. Foul tip. Or off the ground officially, a foul ball, and it's 0-2. George Clausen, who recently had a stretch of 4 games. He's battling an uphill climb. You could tell it was taking a toll on him. He's trying to reset over and over again. 4 straight outings that were very short, and they were rough. He had a tough time with command. Just kept working through it. Counts 1-2. Staying after it day after day, trying to focus on one thing at a time and not lose confidence. Shane Lukes and company working with him regularly and helping him through it. 1-2, flying in the air towards right. There goes Teodosio by the line. Long run, slides, and it bounces off of his glove in fair territory. Throw to second, the tag, got him! A single, but a 9-6 put out. 2 out, nobody on. Well, Teodosio sliding down, just barely missed making what would have been a spectacular catch, and then makes a great throw. Just a dart over to Vera. Vera with the swipe tag after the catch to gun down White. So it's a single, 9-6 on the put out, 2 out, nobody on. Top 7, 3-0 Dirty Sodas. Ground ball left side, nice stab, Candelario straightens up, throw to first in time. A master class from Nothing like hanging out with your best friend here at the ballpark. Join us for Bark in the Park. Check out the next tickets and the next games for Bark in the Park. Presented by Sundays for Dogs. $35. You get a human ticket, you get a dog ticket, and you'll have a great time here at the ballpark in America First Square. So get your tickets now at slbs.com. Such a good time when fans come on out and join us here. Dogs of all sizes, dogs of all ages. There's nothing like it. You see the whole family get together. I bring my dog to this ballpark when I can. It's always a special time. Although I don't get to sit with her out on the berm, do have her here in the broadcast booth, and then also out there in the outfield when the game is over. Here's Hayden Yinger, third pitcher employed tonight for the Las Vegas Aviators. Pitch foul back 0-1. James Gonzalez tonight for Las Vegas. 1 2/3, allowed just one hit, walked one. Got himself in and out of trouble in that sixth. It's 3-0, Utah Dirty Sodas. Teodosio fouls it behind home plate, 0-2. Teodosio 0 for 2 with a pair of Ks. What a strong throw to second base. Back in the top of the 7th inning. Now looking to do something with the bat in the bottom of the 7th. Pitch misses up, 1-2. For Hayden Yinger, 6'1" righty from O'Fallon, Illinois. I'm a resident of the state of Illinois. I've never heard of O'Fallon. The pitch is high, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Two down and away, and the count runs full. Population 29,583. O'Fallon, Illinois. It's down by St. Louis. Dirty Sodas tonight, a 3 spot in the bottom of the 1st on the home run from Ben Gober. Teodosio bounces that foul left side. A dominant pitching performance by George Clausen, giving up 3 hits through 7 innings, striking out 9. Most importantly, keeping this Aviators offense off the board. Las Vegas scored 10 last night. They scored early, they scored often, they scored late, and they kept the Bees in an arm's length. Leadoff walk to Teodosio. He's aboard for the first time. And while the Bees kept playing from behind last night, they jumped in front tonight. They've threatened to add to this lead. It's one part of this game that can't be ignored tonight. Salt Lake has had a chance to get a bigger cushion, and they've come up empty. On the move, Teodosio. The pitch a ball, the throw to second high, in safe is Bryce Teodosio. Stolen base number 16. This team right now with a number of guys that when they get on, they're always a threat to take off. Doesn't matter the count, first pitch, doesn't matter how many outs. They just cause stress. Nicholson flies it to center field deep. Marlowe ranging back, turning around, looking up, it's off the wall. Teodosio around third, coming home. Switching places with him at second is Ryan Nicholson. An RBI double for Nicholson. And it's 4-0 Dirty Sodas in the bottom of the 7th. Boy, he did not miss a home run by much. The deepest part of the ballpark. This ball carrying well. And if he hits it to the right, it goes over. But it hit to the part just to the left of center on the part of the wall that's higher. But Nicholson got a good piece of that one. And for Nicholson, his 3rd double with the Bees, his 7th run batted in. Bees lead 4-0. Pitch outside a ball to Arl Vera. Nicholson at second base now. Vera takes, and it's 2-0. Well, Nicholson, when you look at some of his numbers, and what it wouldn't show you is how big some of the swings have been. That Sunday afternoon in Reno, he puts the team ahead in the 5th. He puts them ahead in extra innings. Big 2-out swings over and over again. Vera puts the bunt down. A beauty. That'll get him over. The throw to first is in time, and Arl Vera does his job. He got that bunt down, and they had no chance to even consider getting Nicholson. That's the way it's done. Sack 2-4. Runner at third. 1 out. 4-0. Dirty Soda's on top. Now Nelson Rana with the infield in. His team already up 4-0. And he doesn't need to get a hit to bring that run in. Doesn't mean he won't get a hit. Just means he understands the importance of bringing him in. Swinging and a miss, 0-1. Well, Nelson Rana, another multi-hit game. He had 8 of them in the month of June. He had a stellar June. He'll be in the Futures game later this month. Fouled in and out of the glove of the catcher, Lavastida, 0-2. As Sammy Miller mentioned before, George Clausen has played in the Futures game. Same thing with Caden Dana and Kyron Paris. But Rada, the first Salt Lake Bee to play in this game since 2016. The pitch is high. And the count's 1-2. The count 1-2, the score 4-0. Dirty Soda's lead over the Aviators. Rana bounces that foul to the backstop. It was Nate Smith back in 2016, left-handed pitcher. He's the last member of the Bees to pitch in the Futures game. There's a guy with a bright future, and Ryan Nicholson. While I mentioned some of his stats wouldn't tell you about the timely swings, they wouldn't tell you about some of the timely defensive plays from Nicholson as well. 1-2, Rana fouls it behind home plate. One out here in this bottom of the 7th. Rana puts it in the air, down the left field line. Ranging towards the sidewall is Welvis. And we'll head into Souvenir City. You know, so many players out there on the field, their sights set on playing at the major league level. They work day in and day out to try and minimize the gap on any issue they may have as a player. There's the 1-2. Rana bounces to the right side with it. First baseman Halter, nice play as he checks the runner at third. Nicholson, he'll take it to the bag himself. 2 out, runner at third. And it brings up Yilmer Sanchez. Sanchez over 2 tonight with a walk and a run scored. So the infield playing back with the exception of the third baseman White. Sanchez, switch hitter now from the left-hand side. Yilmer hitting .338 with runners in scoring position. Yilmer Sanchez, the definition of unselfish in every way. Coaches up young players. First one to go out there and start picking up the balls during BP. Sanchez pops it up high in the air, shallow left center. A fair catch called for by Swift, the shortstop. And he makes the catch to retire the side. The Bees get some insurance. 1 run. Well, when you come to the game, make sure you're geared up the right way. So make sure to shop at beesteamstore.com or come to the ballpark. Check out the endless selection of hats, jerseys, t-shirts, all of that and more at the Bees Team Store. And also the great souvenirs for the kids, little Bumble dolls, the mini bats. If you need it, they've got it. And if you don't need it, they've got it. So go get it, including that Swiggy doll. A plush Swiggy is a must-have. Here is Caleb Ort. He takes over for George Clausen. What a terrific performance by Clausen tonight. 4-0, Dirty Soda's on top. First pitch at the knees. A strike to Jared Dickey. He's 0 for 2 so far on the night. Caleb Ort had one of the most clutch performances I have ever seen since being around this league. And that outing he had at Albuquerque last weekend. It's down the left field line, fouling out of play. 0-2. Ort came in the game, a runner at third, 1 out, and picked up 2 big strikeouts against a tough part of the order, against an Albuquerque offense that is ranked high in several areas. He went out there, not only did he strike them out, he had 3 strikeouts in the 9th inning. And the Bees would go on to win in 10 that night. The 0-2. Check swing, did he go? Yes, he did. He's going to challenge that. So a helmet tap. An
The call on
announcement
the
from
field
Trevor Daniger.
is a swing. The batter is challenging.
Take a look at the ACS. And the bat makes its way around. It will not get to the dotted line. And so he did not
The
go
call on
around.
the field is overturned to a no swing. Las Vegas retains their 2 challenges.
And the count's at 2 balls and 2 strikes. But Caleb Ort and that performance on Saturday, that was so clutch. I mean, back against the wall. You think about everything he was facing up against a really good offense. That stadium was rocking, and he was so composed. 1-2, foul left side. That's going to get out of play. We'll do it again at a ball and 2 strikes. I mean, you could feel it throughout the night. Those 2 teams battling back and forth in the late innings. Salt Lake was down 6-1. They took the lead, then the lead went away. 1-2. Pitches outside, 2 balls and 2 strikes. All the momentum with Albuquerque. And then Ort stepped out there, and you could feel him deflate the balloon in the stadium, because he was in total control. 2-2. That's low. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Ort not happy with himself there. Fans trying to get behind Caleb Ort. Base is empty, nobody out. 4-0 Dirty Sodas. Top of the 8th. Dickey, hard ground ball. Backhand stop more. Straightens up. The throw to first in time. 1 down. Good battle. Ort retires the first hitter he faces, and now here comes Chad Wallach. Chad Wallach 0 for 2. Struck out in the 2nd. Popped up to short in the 5th inning. Wallach swings and misses 0-1. I love the story of Caleb Ort altogether. I love the story of a guy like Chad Wallach. Watching these 2 battle up against each other. One member of the Bees, one former member of the Bees. Here comes the 0-1. Wallach takes a called strike 2 on the outside corner. For Chad Wallach, joined the Bees last year while Salt Lake was in Las Vegas. Saw him at the pool randomly. Hit 250 in a Bees uniform last year, 6 doubles, 6 home runs in 39 games. He was a big boost to the pitching staff. The 0-2 at the knees, called strike 3. 2 out, nobody on. Ort pumped that knee high. Trevor Daniger with the punch out, 2 out, nobody on. Brian Buelvas, 4-0. Dirty Sodas in command so far tonight. Buelvas 0 for 2 with a pair of Ks. Pitch is ruled low. Martinez thought it clipped the bottom of the zone. He taps his helmet.
Previous pitch was called a ball. Catcher's challenging.
The review said it was low.
The calls confirm the pitch is a ball. The count remains at 1-0. Salt Lake is out of challenges for the rest of regulation.
All right, so Salt Lake out of challenges the rest of the way. Pitch down and away, 2 balls and no strikes. Salt Lake in June had a few great shutout performances, and 2 of them against Albuquerque. As I mentioned before, one of the elite offenses in all of AAA. One of them last week in a 6-0 win. That's cut on a miss, 2 balls and a strike. Caden Dana got the start that night. It was a great team effort by so many. It was Dana, it was Harding, it was Southern. Swing and a miss, 2-2. While Sammy Miller's talked a lot about this bullpen as well. They've been great in some key stretches. That outing last time for Caleb Ward. And that's what it's all about. You want a guy to come up big in a big moment. You know, all the money on the table. The home crowd waiting for a walk-off. Man, he sent him home disappointed, even on a fireworks night. 2-2, knee high, hit a spot, win a prize. Caleb Ort. Well, if you love being at the ballpark, you need to get the Bees Baseball Pass for $30. Make sure to pick up the Bees Baseball Pass. Find out more by going to slbees.com and get the best ticket deal in all of baseball. Well, the fans have been excited here tonight, and for good reason. The Utah Dirty Sodas have been outstanding. They're up 4-0, but the pitching has been money. From George Clausen, who had 7 innings, 3-hit shutout ball. And then Caleb Ward with his scoreless 8. Ben Bowden is on for the bottom of the 8th for the Las Vegas Aviators. He'll face Christian Moore, Jamer Candelario, and Ben Goebel, the 3-4-5. Christian Moore takes outside, ball 1. He's 1 for 3 so far tonight. An infield single back in the 6th. While the Dirty Sodas have 4 runs, they threatened in a big way in the 3rd. They threatened in the 6th. But they did get an insurance run in the 7th. It's bounced foul to the backstop, 1-1. Christian Moore taking an extra look at that bat, making sure it's okay. He might need a new one. No, he's going to stay with that one. Moore takes high. From the 6th inning on, in the month of June, Christian Moore batted .615 with the Salt Lake Bees. 16 late inning runs batted in. That's the 3rd most in a month in franchise history. It's fouled to the right side. Sean Rodriguez had more in 2009. Chris Carter in 2018. This guy's adjustment in the offseason has paid off in a really big way. Excellent with zone discipline. He's still one of the best at drawing walks, 4th, and nobody has been better with on-base percentage than Christian Moore. Moore pops that foul to the right side. Fans rise up as the ball drops in. Someone's going home with a souvenir. But watching him come in to the 2026 season, you could feel there was something different. He had a successful 25. No one's denying that. But he's hit a different level here in 26. Moore takes up and away, 3 balls and 2 strikes. 5th best batting average in the PCL. Number 1 in OPS. 6th in slugging percentage. 9th in runs scored. 3-2. Popped him up. Right side foul ground. Drifting over. It's Halter. He'll have room by the edge of the track. Makes the catch. 1 down to the bottom of the 8th. 4-0 Dirty Sodas. I hope you join us tomorrow night. Come out to the ballpark. You'll have Thirsty Thursday. It's going to be a good time. If you can't come out to the ballpark, join us right here on KMYU. Candelario struck out, walked a couple of times. But you come out here, you're going to have a great experience. Usually you'll be leaving with some fun memories. Candelario fouls that back, 0-1. I love to just sit up here and look out at all the families, enjoying great conversation, enjoying food, and having a great night. It's right around now. You see a lot of ice cream make its way throughout the stands, whether it be soft serve or if it's scooped out there. Of course, Friday nights, when it's a far better Friday, get the best tasting treat here in the ballpark. And you see that right there, the conversation's happening, a dad teaching his daughter something in that moment. People enjoying the company of those that they love and the game that they love. Here's the 0-2. Candelario takes low, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Ben Bowden, the 4th pitcher employed here tonight for the Aviators. Yinger went 1 inning, gave up an earned run. Here's the 1-2. Candelario pops that foul behind home plate. 1 out, nobody on. 4-0 Dirty Sodas in this bottom of the 8th inning. It's been amazing watching this team stay together and continue to find ways to be productive with different lineups time and time again. They started 12-18. Down and away, 2-2. And from May 12th on, the 2 best teams in the PCL, the Las Vegas Aviators and the Salt Lake Bees. Bees are hoping to capture that second half title. Candelario takes low. As in the PCL, the first half champion, that was Las Vegas. They will host the winner of the second half in a best-of-3 series in Sin City. He's in a great battle this week against Las Vegas. The Aviators, they took game 1 last night. Candelario swings and misses, strike 3. 2 out, nobody on, bottom of the 8th. Brings up Ben Goebel. Well, Ben Goebel with the biggest swing of the night. A 3-run shot back in the first. He's 1 for 3. Extended his hit streak to 9 games. His overall on-base streak to 23 games. And in his last 9 games, he has a home run and 6 doubles. But for the Salt Lake Bees, the battles in the second half are going to be a blast. Salt Lake will go to Sacramento for 6 after this series right here. Here's the 1-0. Noble fouls that off, 1-1. And after that 6-pack against Sacramento, they head into the All-Star break, and then they come home for a 9-game homestand. Starting with a 3-gamer against Reno. It's during Country Weekend, 17th through the 19th. Goebel flies it to left on a rope, but Huelvas tracks it down in left center field, and the inning is over. Last call for the Aviators, 4-0. Dirty Soda's on top. Caleb Ort on now for the top of the 9th inning. The Salt Lake Bees, that being the Utah Dirty Sodas tonight, a dominant pitching performance up to this point. George Clausen, 7 shutout innings, and he allowed just 3 hits. He punched out 9. Caleb Ort pitched a 1-2-3 8th. He's looking to pitch a 1-2-3 9th inning. The Utah Dirty Sodas up 4-0. Casey Yamauchi will lead it off. Drew Swift on deck. Colby Halter in the hole. 9 1-2 hitters. After dropping game number 1, the Bees trying to earn a split and take game 2. Yamauchi 0 for 2 so far tonight. A called strike, 0-1. Yamauchi playing second base tonight. And just get on base any way possible. It has been a tough night for the Sticks of Las Vegas. This ball rainbowed out to right field. Back a few steps, Teodosio now comes back in and makes the catch. 1 out here in the top of the 9th inning, 4-0. It's amazing, the Bees offense last night, while they scored 6, they struck out 20 times. While Las Vegas's offense scored 10 runs last night, they have been ice cold tonight. Dominant pitching by Clausen, and so far here by Ort. Here's Drew Swift, 0 for 2 with a walk. Pitch is high, ball 1. Last year's Salt Lake's offense was the best when looking at the number of quality starts. They also had the highest number of games when giving up 10 or more. It was a real feast or famine type situation. But when they were at their best, you could see it. Quality starts, that was a regular thing. For George Clausen today, this was his 3rd straight start that was a quality start. 2-0. At the knees, a strike. Helmet tap by Swift. And they'll take a look at the video review.
The previous pitch was called a strike. The batter has challenged.
And the replay said it was inside.
The call is overturned to a ball. Las Vegas retains their 2 challenges.
So Las Vegas still with 2 challenges. It counts 3-0. Swith was the only hitter that Clausen walked tonight, as he had just one free pass issue. It's on the inside corner for a strike. I mean, Clausen just so clean, always pitching from ahead, time and time again, locating, mixing up speeds, disrupting the timing of a hitter. 3-1. Foul tipped into the glove, 3 balls and 2 strikes. Now the fastball coming in at 95, 96. There for Caleb Ort. Here comes the 3-2 from Ort. Popped up. Count full, bases empty. A win tonight for Salt Lake, and they'd be even in the second half at 4-4. Here comes the 3-2 again. Smoke at the knees, called strike 3. Well, Swith was right on his last challenge. He's going to challenge again. This one right at the bottom rail.
The call is confirmed. The pitch is a strike. That is for strike 3.
You can't throw it lower and still hit the zone. Caleb Ort, what a dot. 2 out, nobody on. Las Vegas down to their final out. 5 up, 5 down so far for Caleb Ort. Guy who was undrafted. Originally from Grand Rapids, Michigan. Colby Halter, left-hand batter up there. 0 for 3 tonight. First pitch outside for a ball. Caleb Ort, who had a long, winding journey to get to the bigs. Well, it's been a great journey, and it's great that his path has been here in Salt Lake. The pitch is low, 2 balls and no strikes. His last 2 years with the Astros. First 3 years of his major league career with the Red Sox. The former Joliet Slammer. Guy who played several places you may have never heard of. 2-0, fouled back behind home plate to the left. It's 2-1. It didn't matter if he was drafted or not. All he needed was an opportunity, and he would make the most of it, time and time again. Played at Pulaski. Played at Trenton, at Tampa, and not the Tampa Bay Rays. Staten Island, Lima, and Joliet. He just continued to rise. 3-1. On the outside corner, called strike 2. Las Vegas down to their final strike. But he continues to represent oh so well. Showed his toughness all the way up to finally making it to the major league level. It continues to flex for this team. It just fouled back. He'll do it again at 3 balls and 2 strikes. It's been back and forth between AAA and the major leagues over the past handful of years. From Worcester to Norfolk, Sugar Land, and right here in Salt Lake. And is back against the wall at Albuquerque. Tonight was working from ahead 4-0. The count's 3-2. The pitch from Ort. Bounce back to Ort, he's got it. Soft toss to first, ball game is over. And the winner is the Utah Dirty Sodas, 4-0. And this new Dirty Soda is called the Master Claus. George Clausen, who goes out there and pitches 7 shutout innings, a part of another great shutout performance from this pitching staff. Clausen gave up just 3 hits, he walked 1, he punched out 9. Salt Lake pitching with 12 strikeouts on the night. What a great response after giving up 10 runs last night. All of a sudden, the Utah Dirty Sodas punched first. Ben Goebel with a 3-run homer in the first inning. Nicholson, a wall-banging RBI double in the 7th. The Salt Lake Bees, that being the Utah Dirty Sodas, they are 4-4 in the second half. They've split the first 2 with the defending PCL champion Las Vegas Aviators. Swiggy flying the flag high. So much to be happy about with his performance tonight.